right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. 2027, we are ready to mobilize 10 million votes. Tinubu door-to-door movement tells new APC chairman. Now, the new APC chairman, YOUTHS, is actually a man from Plateau State, and as of the time the door-to-door movement was telling him that they will mobilize 10 million votes for Tinubu in 2027. This was happening in Plateau State. Breaking: women and babies killed in fresh Plateau attack. So your state is burning every single day, scores of people dying. And your next move is to mobilize 10 million votes for that to continue. 10 million people via door-to-door movement. And I don't understand this door-to-door movement they are talking about. Are they saying they will actually go to people's doorsteps and tell them to vote Tinubu? I don't know if the resilience or the peaceful nature of Nigerians has reached that level that somebody will come and knock at your door and tell you to vote Tinubu. I'm looking at families in Nigeria, many who cannot afford to feed. Just imagine a hungry family. Maybe they never chopped since yesterday. Then you will come and knock at their door. When they come out, what is the message for them? The message is to vote Tinubu. If they don't hit your head with something heavy and something strong, then make I know wetin cause am. But one thing I want to say is that if they are talking about votes, then they should please give us a free and fair election. Transfer results from polling unit to the IREV. You have claimed that you have done well, right? That Nigerians will vote Tinubu because he has done really well. Isn't that so? Okay, give us a free and fair election. Since you are sure that you can get him 10 million votes, no problem. Just transfer results from polling unit to the IREV and see if you will not be gone from Aso Rock before 12 o'clock on election day. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that disgraceful update coming from the United Nations. If you see this one, you will shake your head for how badly this country has dropped. And next is that update coming out of N.WEST Nigeria. N.WEST youths came out and declared a massive rally for Peter Obi, but when the federal government wanted to collaborate with the state government to declare a rally for Tinubu, these same N.WEST youths came out and said no. They said Tinubu's zone is not transparent and that it is a corrupt movement. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. This is Tinubu admitting the failure of APC governors and the failure of his own regime. See the video.
Nigerians are still complaining at grassroots. To you, the governors, you have to wet the grass more. And lead the way in delivering progressive change to Nigerians. May God bless our democracy. Amen. And give us more fertile lands. Those who are working with me to achieve sovereign food guarantee for our country, we will continue to work hard for you, for the Nigerians, and listen to all of you to achieve the expected goals of this country. I thank you very, very much for everything that is done. God bless you and God bless Nigeria, Federal Republic of the country.
You heard that. Tinubu himself said people are still complaining at the grassroots that the APC governors should wet the grass. But the big question is, what have you done at the national level? That is the big question. You removed fuel subsidy. It is over 2 years now. You cannot point at a single thing that you have done with the money. Yes, you can say that you are giving governors triple their allocation and you are giving lawmakers, more than what they used to get before as constituency project money. But you are the one pocketing more than 50% of that subsidy money. What are you doing with it? There are issues that are specifically for the government at the center. There are issues that are specifically for the federal government to tackle. Issues like road networks within Nigeria. What have you done in that aspect? All you have done is to put plenty of money in that Lagos to Calabar coastal road, to put over 70 billion naira linking Nigeria to Cameroon, a project that will not even see the light of the day. What have you done, Tinubu? But it's a good thing that you have come out to admit the failure of the APC governors. You may not admit your own failure, but we will tell you. So if your governors have failed and you have also failed, what can your supporters say now? This video is mainly for anybody who still claims that he has a soft spot for anything APC. This is Tinubu himself admitting the failure of APC governors. And he's telling the governors to wet the grass. I wonder what he expects the governors to do. You took the price of petrol from 195 naira to 900 naira, 1,000 naira. Some people are buying for 1,300 naira. What do you expect a governor to do in this case? Your poorly thought out policies have completely destroyed the economy of this country. There are things that can be done to fix it, but you are too arrogant and too ignorant to even try to follow that path. And that is why I keep telling Nigerians that the only way to get out of this quagmire is to come together and get the APC out of power. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that big one coming from the United Nations, a very disgraceful one for Tinubu and the entire country. And next is that update coming out of Northwest Nigeria, Kaduna to be precise, the same Kaduna youths who declared a massive rally for Peter Obi have now come out to stop a rally organized for Tinubu. Let's start by taking that update from the United Nations. Look at how the papers reported it. The World Food Programme will be forced to suspend food and nutrition aid for 1.3 million people in Nigeria's violence-hit Northeast at the end of July because stocks have run out. Wow. Nigeria News Desk says United Nations set to suspend food aid to Nigeria. United Nations have fed and fed and fed Nigerians in the Northeast till they ran out of stock. Now they said they are going to suspend that feeding by the end of July. You see, I don't know why we still even have to have any argument about Tinubu being kicked out of office in 2027. It shouldn't even be anything that we should debate upon. United Nations has been feeding people in Northeast Nigeria till they ran out of stock. Now they are saying they are going to stop in July. How can a country like Nigeria, that has some of the best soils in the world, that has one of the most agriculture-friendly climatic nature in the world, how can we be depending on the United Nations to feed our citizens? That was how Ukraine, a war-hit Ukraine, sent us grains last year. What is going on in this country? I know that we have insecurity, ravaging this country. But believe me, if the government is really hell-bent on feeding the people and producing, they can still do it while they are tackling the insecurity. So because there's insecurity in Nigeria, we should not produce food again. Nigerians should now depend on United Nations for food. This is disgraceful. This is the kind of aid that countries like Congo, Burundi, those kind of countries, Guinea, should be asking for. But the so-called giant of Africa is the one receiving food aid from United Nations. If Nigerians don't end the APC will end Nigeria. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update from Northwest Nigeria, Kaduna to be precise, began making the rounds. Look at how the papers reported it. Now, on the 19th of July, which is World Peter Obi Day, that is Peter Obi's birthday, the youths of Kaduna State planned a very massive rally to celebrate Peter Obi's birthday. But the government of Kaduna State and APC government quickly saw it from the politics point of view, and then they banned the rally. Look at it. Police bans Peter Obi's 64th birthday Kaduna rally, threatens legal action against violators. Now, after banning the Peter Obi rally, they now thought to themselves that if these youths can just sit down and organize a rally for this man in honor of his birthday. It means they should also try to do something for Tinubu, something unofficial, just cook up something in order to create that presence for Tinubu in Kaduna State. So they announced a rally in Kaduna State to celebrate the achievement of Tinubu. But the youth of Kaduna State came out and stopped the rally. They said it will not hold because it is not sincere. Check it out. Groups reject federal government's plan to celebrate Tinubu's achievements in Kaduna. The coalition of northern Nigeria youth leaders has strongly rejected the federal government's planned engagement in Kaduna, describing it as a one-sided and politically motivated initiative that fails to reflect the genuine aspirations of the North. Speaking at a press briefing held at N.WEST Hotel in Kaduna, the forum expressed outrage over what it termed a government-orchestrated jamboree aimed at presenting a selective narrative of federal achievements while excluding key regional voices. We are not interested in tokenism, declared Muhammad Isa Imam, Secretary of Media and Public Affairs for the coalition. This planned engagement is not rooted in transparency, inclusiveness, or sincerity. It is a calculated political show, not a true dialogue. You saw that. That was the coalition of northern Nigeria youth leaders there stopping the attempt of the federal government and the APC-led state government of Kaduna to celebrate Tinubu's achievement in Kaduna State. Apparently, what the group expects is for the government to come and have a dialogue with the youths so that the youths will tell the government their grievances with the government. But the government is now coming up to say they want to come and celebrate achievements. I don't know what they want to celebrate, because when you ask these governments, what are your achievements, they will say they removed fuel subsidy. The fuel subsidy that you removed, and then inflation skyrocketed, and then people can no longer go to school. People can no longer feed in their homes. That is what you want to celebrate as an achievement. If you ask them what is another achievement, they will say the coastal road that they started, a road that will take 12 to 15 years before you complete it. That is if you are going to eventually complete it. You are calling it an achievement. So what is the one thing that you can really hold on to as an achievement under the Tinubu regime? If anybody has anything that they can call a real achievement, please drop it in the comment section for me. I need to see it. In the area of security or insecurity, things are worse. Things are worse. Every day, killings in Benue State, in Plateau State, in Zamfara. Zamfara has now come to a point, places like Zamfara, Katsina, and Sokoto have now come to a point where they pay bandits and terrorists. They pay them levies steady. Those people have been collecting levies steadily from the farmers and the villagers for close to 2 years now. So what is the achievement you have? You say you want to celebrate. I don't just understand. But of course, like I said, they only announced that rally because the youths of this same state, Kaduna State, announced a massive rally for Peter Obi. So they thought that it was an opportunity for them to quickly counter that move and get the youths to be on their side. But Peter Obi did not force the youths to announce a rally for him. In fact, he never knew about it. The youths just wanted to do it because they have seen the sincerity in the man. And I just want to say this to people who have bought the narrative that Peter Obi cannot even get any support in northern Nigeria. Some people have completely bought that narrative. Now, this is Kaduna. The two states that celebrated Peter Obi's birthday the most were Kaduna and Sokoto State. Yes. Not a southeast state, not a south-south state. So when they sell you the narrative that Obi does not have any supporter, he doesn't have supporters in northern Nigeria, then they back it up with rigged elections so that you say, oh, it's true. He got just 1,200 votes in Gombe. He got just 15,000 votes in Borno. So he doesn't have supporters there. That is not true. Finally, breaking news. The federal government, through the Nigeria Customs Service, is considering reducing import duties by scrapping the 7% surcharge currently imposed on all imports. Now, if they can do this, it will be very good for the masses, because we are a country where over 70% of the things we consume are imported. So after floating the naira and dollar rose tremendously against the naira, we had no business touching import duties again. But this federal government still went ahead and increased import duties about 4-5 times, 6-7 times under this regime. It was clearly an inhuman move. So if they can, overturn it, it is very good for the people. But I don't think they would. They will never do it. They just said it to give the people something to talk about. I know what I'm saying. It's not because I'm a critic. We will come back here 3 weeks later or 1 month later, and I will remind you that they didn't do it. It's just like the protest that, retired police officers held, and the IG said they would do something about it. I will remind you months later that he didn't do anything. They will never do anything to ease the pain of the people. Why? Because they are the APC. They have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And this is why I keep telling Nigerians that for us to have this country back, for us to have a country that we can be proud of, we must come together, cast our sentiments aside, and get the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town, make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una, na I dey here. So don't go away. Don't go away.